If I had to pick a team, 10 kids, he'd be on my team. Great teammate, team leader, studied the game, understood the game, and never did anything he couldn't do. Always playing under control.
This is a great finish right here. Certainly is. It may not be over yet. Lee going over to Shaun Lover in back of the defense. He lays it in. Shaun Lover lays it in. There's going to be a ball, and that's the ball game. They never got it off. They ran a great play as Lover went over on the weak side. He was all alone, and the Farmington Tigers have won 66-64.
Shaun may have not led our team in statistics in every category or any category, but I bet he was second most.
They're coming in over to Josh Lee. He'll put up 3. That's going to be off the rim. The tap up by Lover. Shaun Lover, the tap up at the buzzer. Oh, do you believe that, ladies and gentlemen?
Tough. Quick. Never quit. Just like the other kids, played with unbelievable grit. Unbelievable. Leader. Would be willing to tell people what to do and how to do it and do it now.
He held himself accountable before he would hold someone else accountable. And that's what true leadership is. You know, when you look at Shaun, he was class president. He graduated 3rd in his class. He, was player of the year in baseball. Like, when you add up all these things, that's Hall of Fame.
Great ball player, quiet, led by example. Definitely was a leader. Play hurt, didn't bother him. He was going to be out there. It wasn't nothing going to keep him from playing.
When Shaun was young, tragedy struck in his backyard. He was burnt, terribly burnt, in a tragic accident.
I remember he was bandaged for a long time.
There was a lot of question whether he would ever really fully recover from it.
It was really different that year. Larry wasn't coaching the Little League All-Star team. Shaun wasn't there. As much as, it's All-Stars and you're having fun, there was something else that was just missing, and it was Shaun.
It was almost like he took it as a little bit of inner drive, and he said, I've been knocked down, but I'm going to get back up.
Never complained, never said anything about it. Went on with his business just like every day.
I think he was determined to lead the team because he felt that he'd let him down by getting hurt.
It aided his mental toughness. There's no doubt in my mind.
When we started playing again, I remember Shaun wore a long sleeve shirt under his game jersey.
How brave you have to be to put yourself out in not only the public but in athletics while still bandaged and still healing from things. And I thought it was outstanding that you could muster up the courage to do that.
That wasn't going to slow him down. I don't really care what he picked to do for the rest of his life. He was going to be successful at it. And it's obvious now. I mean, you look at him, president of his company, he's got 3 kids who are all tremendous athletes as well. He spends time and he puts back the time in his community now with his kids. So him slowing down because of that wasn't happening.
He overcame the adversity and obviously became one of the best all-around athletes Farmington's ever seen.
He played with an intensity that I think resonated from Larry.
Shaun, the son of Larry Lover. Larry Lover is a legend in our town.
It was amazing to watch the bond between his father and him.
Unfortunately, Larry's not with us, but he knew Shaun was going to be inducted and was able to share that moment that Shaun found out with him.
His dad was proud of him at his ability as a player and as a student.
For Shaun, it wasn't just about athletics. He truly defines what the word student athlete is. I mean, he was a student first.
Good enough is the enemy of excellence, I think was his attitude. He just wanted to be the best he could be. I think that's how he is in life. He just is a workaholic and perhaps a little bit of a perfectionist, but a big heart.
Sportsmanship is on top of Shaun's game too. He was always willing to congratulate the other team, win or lose, help somebody up, win or lose. Again, he's that guy you want on your team.
He's probably the greatest person that I've ever played with.
Our next inductee is our final inductee of the evening. And when the announcement was made that Shaun Lover was being inducted into our Hall of Fame, there was a buzz around town. Much like another Hall of Famer this evening, Shaun Lover, the son of Hall of Fame and legendary baseball coach Larry Lover. 2 years ago in this very gym, Shaun had the opportunity to accept on his dad's behalf. And before Larry passed away recently, Shaun was able to share with his dad that he would be joining him in the Hall of Fame. Shaun was a four-sport athlete here at FHS, having run cross country, played soccer, basketball, and baseball. He helped lead his baseball team to the championship game in 1995, where the Tigers came up just short of winning the championship. And his basketball teams made playoff runs as well. Known as one of the program's strongest backcourts ever, Shaun worked alongside teammate Josh Lee, and he served as the floor general. When interviewing folks for the Hall of Fame intro clips, the word leader, sportsman, and ultimate teammate were used over and over. Our community loves Shaun Lover. And it is evident that he is beloved beyond the boundaries of our little town. His company, Columbia Construction, shared with us in a letter recently how much they respect him. And we've had members of the Bow community reach out to us through social media to express the same. The mere mention of his name during the Hall of Fame interviews brought teammate and friend Josh Lee to tears. That, my friends, is very powerful. And as you heard in the intro clip, if Mike Lee could pick 10 players to be on his all-time career team, Shaun Lover makes the cut. Shaun Lover lives now in Bow, where he is heavily involved with his community, and he's here tonight with his very proud family, especially his wife Michelle and his 3 boys, who are becoming 3 outstanding athletes in their own right, Shaun Jr., Ryan, and Brady. And after talking to those 3 young men earlier tonight, I encourage you folks to meet them, because the Lover name is in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome home Shaun Lover.
I think it was Mike Tyson that said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. So that video and what was said about me it's a good punch, but it's a punch in the face. So, you know, it's funny. I don't really talk a lot about, you know, my accent when I was burnt as a kid, honestly, until probably my kids were born. And I don't know if it was Coach Lee or someone on the video said that you never really use that as an excuse, and I really fully believe that, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I tell my kids, and honestly, unless you grew up here, you don't fully understand like how ingrained the Farmington athletics in this town is ingrained in your DNA and everything I've done in my entire life. I tell my kids, if you get half of the experience through sports that I did, not half of the success. Notice the word is not half the success. It's just half the enjoyment and half the learning, the life lessons, like Mike said, Mike Sargent. you don't really realize you're learning the life lessons that all the great coaches we played for taught you until you're raising your own kids. In this town, I think luckily my sister Carrie, who saved a scrapbook for me growing up, one of my favorite articles was about this gym. And I don't know if Mike, you wrote it or not, but it talked about on one Thursday or Friday night game when I was a junior or senior, might have been a junior, there was 14 different schools in this gym watching us play basketball. In today's day and age, that would never happen. It just doesn't happen. And this was an event, you felt like you were playing for the town. I felt like I was playing for my dad, his friends, grandparents, families. You felt that way. And whether you won or lost, they were behind you. And everyone knew it, but they were behind you. Some of my favorite memories, the layup you just saw, that Josh hit me on a banana cut back door for a layup in a playoff win. I remember, and I don't know his name, I remember a grown man ran on the court and hugged me. No idea who it was. All I remember, I vividly remember the beard scratching my face. But that was Farmington. It was Farmington. It was an event. Bobby Place used to save my dad a seat at mid-court. Every game. My game, my sister's games. He would save him a seat because if you didn't get here by 4:30 for the JV game, you weren't, or the girls' game, you weren't watching the game. There was no seats left. And that's just something that you took so much pride in. You just took so much pride in. Some of the great coaches that I played for, a lot of the same names you heard. Coach Lee, not only did he coach me and gave me a skinny sophomore a chance to be a player in a sophomore year in a varsity team that was already very good, but I was a towel boy for him when I was like 8 years old with the Mutchers and the Wittens and the Mosiers and the Smiths and the Hagers and all those people. And like Mike said, it was just, we were never treated like underclassmen. Gabe Terrance was always good to me in baseball. I mean, you were just treated like you're a Farmington athlete, you play sports and you're going to be taken care of. And we looked up to those guys so much more than they ever would know. Cheryl Peabody, you may have coached my sister, but I learned a ton from you and just how you treated people and your work ethic and the mottos you used to say, and I learned a ton from you. Dave Sargent, you may or may not ever remember this, right? You were always unbelievably good to me and my family. There was one thing you said to me in 6th grade baseball I remember, and it was, I was too short to play shortstop. And you know what? I loved honesty, and I still do to this day, and it motivated me. And I know you didn't mean it in a mean way. It was just, hey, it's a long throw from junior high diamond. I was a little short at the time, but you know what? I used that as motivation, and it worked. Dan Reynolds, talking about the jeans and the work boots. I can still hear him creaking on that town hall floor. But the same thing, talking about the accident. One year I came to practice and I wouldn't take my long sleeve shirt off, and I played basketball with a long sleeve shirt on. The next year he came in and I was playing shirts and skins, and I was a skin. He says, last year you wouldn't take your shirt off. Now I can't get you to put your shirt back on. Dave Wims took a chance on a skinny, barely 14-year-old freshman, let me play varsity baseball as a freshman after the 1991 championship team, the year after. Unbelievably thankful for that opportunity. Pete Johnson, Jamie Myers, Jim Taylor, all the people from teachers to coaches that impacted me and really took me under my wing. I can't thank everyone enough. Teammates, Josh Lee, the Places, Mosiers, DePrizios. I mean, the list, I have like 50 here, so I won't bore you today, but I thank all my teammates and more importantly, my friends for everything they've done for me and let me be part of their memories. My sister, Carrie. I would say without a doubt, I would not be here without her. She raised me, and I can't thank her enough. My wife, Michelle, who I actually met looking through that door. She was here, she was a cheerleader, she was a freshman, and I was like, who is that? I'll never forget it, through that door right there. And the rest is history. My boys, oh boy, you guys talk about competitive. I feel for them sometimes with my competitiveness. I think I've eased up a little bit less harsh than my dad was on most of everyone in this room, and certainly me. And, you know, certainly last but not least is my dad. I love when my kids hear stories of my dad. He was a good person, and he truly did enjoy people succeeding. He was hard on a lot of kids. He coached them hard. I love hearing those stories. But he really did truly care. One of my favorite stories of my dad was, I went on to Babe Ruth. He was still coaching Little League, but he decided eventually he wanted to coach Babe Ruth. However, my team already had a coach, so he coached another team, and I ended up beating him in the championship with me on the mound, so I never let him live that down. You know, we talk about how to learn in life, right? It's not just the good. It's not just the positive. You know, I talked to KJ a little bit about one of the championship games. So unlike the 91 championship team, the 95 championship team I was a part of, we came up 1 run short. And some people may know, but I actually got thrown out of that game. I was 2 for 2. I scored our 1 run, and I was on third base, and I ended up running the catcher over at home plate. After about a 15-minute deliberation with the umpires, I got ejected. And we lost by 1 run with a blooper over the shortstop's head, which is the position I had only played for the last 3 years. So it's a tough pill to swallow at the time, but those stories, you know, like winning playoff basketball games, those stories help build who you are. You can't let anything keep you down. You know, from Kelly LaPointe to my dad to everyone else that's fighting battles, you can't let those things keep you down. You recognize them and you move on. That's all you can do. So to everyone that's had a positive impact on my life, the Hall of Fame committee, thank you very much. KJ, Mike, Joel, all the hard work you guys do. It gives me great joy, and I know it gives my dad great joy to have my kids here and experience this town that's so ingrained in everything I do. So thank you.